Huge battery plus a fan. This thing is the king of value time for the Honor Winner Teardown. A 2000 yuan Thai phone with a waterproof fan. After watching this teardown, you'll understand why. The Honor Winner just went on sale today, and I dropped 2,900 RMB on the 16 plus 256GB Black Edition. The number of people hounding me for this Winward video lately is at least 9.1 times more than those asking for the Xiaomi 17 Ultra. I honestly didn't expect that, and when I bought this phone, it even came with a free handheld game console. Seriously, this transparent Explorer design looks even cooler than the phone itself. It's even loaded with over 10,000 games. Back to the phone itself, the main difference between this Winward and the other version is one less camera, and the processor has been swapped for the Snapdragon 8 Elite. For gamers, this product segmentation is surgical. It barely grazes the quick. When you're gaming, who cares about the camera performance? Let's go ahead and boot it up. The design of this Honor Winward looks incredibly familiar. Comparing it with the Redmi K90 Pro Max, these two are practically brothers from different parents. Let's quickly go over a few highlights of the Winward. First up is the newly added fan. Let's compare it with the fan benchmark of the gaming phone world, the Red Magic 11 Pro. As for the airflow, you can see the actual visual comparison right here. This is the Honor Winward. Now, let's look at it in slow motion. The air enters through this circular intake and exhausts from the vent right below the camera deco. Wait, look closely. They opened a slot under the deco so that when you're holding the phone, it even blows a breeze onto your hands. Actually, it feels pretty refreshing. Now let's look at the Red Magic 11 Pro. Its air duct design. It takes air in from the right and exhausts it on the left. The air volume is also massive. Now that you've seen this visual comparison, you should have a good idea of the air volume for both. Next, let's compare their noise levels with both set to maximum. Red Magic first. Now, for the Winward. Surprisingly, its fan speed supports stepless adjustment. That is pretty interesting. Let's hear how much noise it makes at full blast. It's quite obvious. The Winward is significantly louder than the Red Magic. I wonder, when you're gaming and hear that fan noise, does it make you feel more pumped for battle? Or, do you find it distracting? Let me know in the comments. So, how did this 2,000 yuan plus Winward manage to feature a waterproof fan? We'll break it down and analyze it during the teardown. Next up is the screen refresh rate, which reaches an insane 185 Hz. The highest we've seen in previous teardowns were likely the 165 Hz ROG and Red Magic phones. Also, the Honor Winward has a great feature. It offers custom toggles for high refresh rate apps, comparing it to a standard 120 Hz phone. The difference is quite obvious in slow motion. I think you can tell, right? And here is another mind-blowing spec. Wind packs a massive 10,000 mAh battery. You guys might not have a clear concept of that number. I don't have a 10,000 mAh one handy, but I have this slightly larger 12,000 mAh power bank. Look, this power bank is as large as a phone. Yet, it is so much thicker than the device itself. It's clear that Honor's battery tech is on another level now. So, how exactly did they fit a 10,000 mAh battery inside? And how did they make the fan waterproof? Without further ado, let's jump straight into the teardown. The adhesive around the back cover is actually quite easy to pry open. But once you reach the camera deco, you can feel it is clearly tough as hell. Just look at my prying pick, it's absolutely wrecked. I feel like this is beyond the level of standard structural adhesive. The resistance as I pry it up reminds me of the time we took apart that North Korean phone. Is it possible this camera deco is like that North Korean one, and it is actually held by a screw? Well, let's give it a shot. Aha! Look at this deco, it really does seem to pry up. Man, I really thought this was made of glass before I started. Oh, so the deco cover plate is actually plastic. Well, that is a relief. Plastic is less likely to snap while prying. Just as I thought, there really is a screw hidden inside. Good thing, we've got plenty of teardown experience. Now that we've reached this part, we can already see the design of its air duct. The air is drawn in through these tiny fan blades, then directed through these guide vanes to the outlet down here. Let's use a smoke machine to visualize the air path. Okay, once this screw is removed, the back cover can be taken off easily. Man, this back cover is incredibly thin and light, guys. You can tell just by the sound. Making it this thin is likely an effort to keep the overall weight down. Accordingly, they've added a lot of buffer foam to the back cover to protect internal components from impact in case of a drop. At first glance, the internal structure of this phone is very unique. Come on, let's remove the cooling fan module first. After peeling back this waterproof adhesive, you can see the power cable for this tiny fan. It threads into the chassis through this narrow gap. Then, it connects to the motherboard via these contact pins. Now, let's take the fan out. Now, you can see the logic here. Honor has essentially placed this fan outside the main body of the phone, so there's absolutely no need to worry about water resistance. The airflow from this external fan passes over the metal plate and whisks away the heat from the motherboard through this exhaust port. Honestly, it's a stroke of genius. Alright, let's pop off the motherboard cover. You can see this thermal film on the back of the cover. It covers the entire battery area, really solid build quality here. Integrated into the cover are a single-tone flash, an ambient light sensor, an IR blaster, the NFC coil, and this double-layered graphene heat sheet below. At this price point, the lack of wireless charging is totally expected. Let's keep looking at the internals. On a scale of 1 to 91, what score would you give this layout? First, props for this flat ribbon style coaxial cable on the right. This design eliminates the need for a dedicated groove in the middle frame, which helps maintain its structural integrity. Now, let's take out the rear camera modules first. The main camera features a 1/1.56 inch IMX906 sensor. This is a standard main sensor, typically found in the 3,000 yuan price bracket. We also have a 12MP front-facing camera and a 50MP ultra-wide-angle lens. Regarding the camera setup, the WinWart lacks the 3x IMX856 telephoto lens found on the standard Win version. But honestly, if you're buying the WinWart, you probably don't care much about camera specs. Some of you might even think that having an extra camera would just get in the way of heat dissipation. Alright, let's pull out the motherboard now. You can see there is no slot for VC liquid cooling underneath the motherboard, which shows Honor is quite confident in the performance of this air cooling system. Taking a look at the overall structure of the motherboard, considering the battery has taken up so much internal space, it surprisingly still uses a single-layer PCB design. This is great for heat dissipation. The shield on the front of the motherboard has this grid-like pattern. Is it possible they placed the VC liquid cooling on the front side? Let's pry it open and see. Once pried open, it is clear the front isn't VC liquid cooling either. The indentation in the shield makes direct contact with the thermal grease inside, effectively dissipating heat for the internal components. Now, prying open the back shield, you can see right away, this processor is the green Snapdragon 8 Elite down here. Stacked on top is a Micron LPDDR5X RAM module. And to the right is Hynix flash storage. From this comparison, you can see that the SoC, the main heat source, aligns perfectly with the air duct. The airflow through the duct can directly blow away the heat for active cooling. With current mobile games, the Snapdragon 8 Elite is already more than capable. Add active cooling to that, and you'll never have to worry about gaming performance. Next, let's check out another key feature. This massive top speaker. It seems to use the same angled design as its big brother Huawei. For the top speaker placement, do any of you guys know why it's angled like this? The supplier for this top speaker is Goertek, with a 12/16 specification that is honestly quite impressive. Most phones in this class that we've torn down this year usually just stick to the entry, level 10-12 size. The bottom speaker is also removed. Turning it over, you can see that the specs for the top and bottom speakers are identical, both utilizing the 10-12 specification. The last time we saw dual 12/16 speakers was on the God of Music, Xiaomi 10. Not to mention, Honor is now using even newer speaker technology. Talk is cheap, let's jump straight into the sound quality comparison. Let's bring out this year, Speaker King, the Redmi K90 Pro Max, and my sacrificial phone, the Find X8 Ultra, to act as the control group. Now, let's have a listen. Across the window, only 2 lines of autumn remain. I seek the clear breeze and mountain longing. Okay. So, after hearing that, which one do you think sounds better? Is it the Redmi K90 Pro Max with its Bose triple speaker setup, or the Honor WinRT with dual 12/16 speakers? Now, let's remove the USB daughter board. As for the transfer speeds, the WinRT uses a USB 2.0 standard. But then again, gamers probably don't need to transfer massive files, right? Right. I doubt anyone still transfers movies onto their phones manually these days. Taking out the vibration motor, it is a standard 0809X axis linear motor with a normal thickness of 3.5 millimeters. It is not the beefed up 0809E found in the Xiaomi 17 Ultra. Now, let's remove the battery. As for the battery itself, it doesn't feature a quick release design. This is quite surprising. Not only is there no quick release, but the battery adhesive is incredibly strong, guys. If you're attempting this teardown yourselves, be very careful. Don't use too much force near the battery, or you'll easily damage the middle frame. Okay, now that the battery is out, you can see this massive 10,000 mAh battery. It effectively drags smartphone batteries into the power bank era. The manufacturer is Scud, Fujian Electronics Co., Ltd. The battery uses a single-cell, dual-connector design, which offers a longer lifespan and faster charging speeds. And I've measured the dimensions of this battery cell for you. It is 99 millimeters long, 69 millimeters wide, and 6.13 millimeters thick. So brothers, if you're planning to mod your old models with this cell, you can use these specs as a reference. This battery pack is probably the largest one we've dismantled recently. Now, let's look at the area below the battery. The VC liquid cooling area is also quite substantial. Paired with the active air cooling, plain Genshin Impact, or Honkai, Star Rail is a total breeze. Okay, so this is the family photo of the Honor WinRT's internals. Now, let's reassemble the phone. The specs of the Honor WinRT can only be described as insane. In this year's price bracket, once the Honor WinRT dropped, it absolutely dominated the competition. If you guys are eyeing the 16GB plus 512GB high-spec version, But you're a bit tight on budget. Here is another option. The Red Magic 10 Pro, which also features the Snapdragon 8 Elite. And a built-in fan is also worth considering. For the same 16GB plus 512GB version, I checked the second-hand price on Juanjuan, and it is only around 2,830 yuan. That is 500 yuan cheaper than the Winrit with the same storage. Plus, phones on Juanjuan undergo multiple rounds of official quality inspections, so the quality is well guaranteed. Wait, I think reassembling it to this point is enough. This transparent exploration edition with the exposed air duct, I think it actually looks cooler than the original.